Please don't forget to subscribe. The summer air inside the lake house clung to everything like a heavy blanket. Megan Dalton stood at the wide bay window of the living room, staring out across the still, glittering water. Her blonde hair, tied into a lazy ponytail, stuck to the back of her neck. She was barefoot, wearing a soft silk robe that barely brushed the tops of her thighs. The only sound came from the humming ceiling fan above, the house otherwise wrapped in silence. She had married Darren Dalton 3 years ago, a strong, charming businessman who traveled more often than he stayed home. They'd met at a charity auction. Sparks flew fast, and within months, they were husband and wife. But his son, Jason, Darren's child from his previous marriage, was another story. At the time, Jason had just turned 18. Reserved, serious, with sharp green eyes that never quite softened, Jason had always looked at Megan like he was trying to read through her, never really accepting her as part of the family. Now Jason was 21, back from college for the summer, and something in him had changed. Or maybe something in her had. Megan couldn't tell where the tension began anymore. It hovered in the air between them, unspoken and crackling. That morning had been different. Darren had left for a business trip to Denver and wouldn't return for at least 5 days. Megan had woken to the sound of a basketball bouncing outside, and when she pulled back the curtain, she saw Jason shirtless in the driveway, glistening with sweat and completely unaware she was watching. Or maybe not unaware. Maybe he let her look. Later that afternoon, Megan was sitting in the kitchen, slowly stirring a glass of iced tea, when Jason walked in. He was freshly showered, wearing a gray tank top and jeans that hung just a little too low on his hips. His eyes met hers, lingering a beat too long. "You okay?" he asked, voice low. She nodded. "Just thinking." He smirked. "You always think that hard when you stare at the same wall for 10 minutes. Megan smiled softly. "Maybe the wall has more going on than you think." Jason chuckled, stepping closer. "I think you're just tired of pretending. Of being the good, proper stepmom." Megan froze, her fingers tightening around the glass. "Jason, that's not." He cut her off gently. "Megan, you're not my real mom. You never were. You're too young. Too different. And I'm not a kid anymore." His words sent a ripple down her spine. She opened her mouth to object, but found nothing to say. Because he wasn't wrong. She was only 35, and Jason's maturity always felt years ahead of his age. His nearness now, close enough that she could smell his skin, fresh and warm, was making it impossible to breathe steadily. "You don't have to keep pretending around me," he continued. "We both know something's been simmering between us for a long time." "Jason," she whispered. He leaned in, slowly, like giving her time to move away. But she didn't. Not even an inch. "I won't do anything you don't want," he said. Her chest rose and fell, heart hammering. "What are you trying to say?" "I'm saying that I see you. Not as my stepmom, but as a woman. One who's been aching to be seen, really seen, for a long time." His hand brushed her jawline, and Megan's eyes fluttered shut for a second before she stepped back, her voice trembling. "This is wrong." "No," Jason replied. "It only feels wrong because we're trying to shove it into labels that don't fit anymore." Megan walked out of the kitchen, pulse racing. She didn't sleep that night. She laid in bed alone, staring at the ceiling, her body humming with confusion, need, and guilt. Her marriage with Darren had become hollow, more a routine than a relationship. Jason made her feel alive again, but it terrified her. The next day, she avoided Jason completely, spending most of her time by the water or in her studio room pretending to organize paintbrushes. But by the 3rd day, tension boiled over. It was late at night, and Megan was locking up the back patio door when she turned around and saw Jason standing in the hallway. Shirtless again. His eyes were darker than usual, expression unreadable. "I need to talk to you," he said, stepping forward. She backed away, her back pressing against the cold glass door. "Jason, please don't."
"Why?"
"Because of Dad," he asked. "You think he'd care? He hasn't touched you in months. You told me that yourself. You're always alone. Always craving something more." Her breath caught in her throat. I didn't say that for you to. You said it because it's true, Jason interrupted. And I've been waiting, Megan. Waiting for you to see me the way I've always seen you. She closed her eyes, trying to fight the rising wave inside her, but it crashed over everything. When she opened them, Jason was close again, his palms sliding gently along her arm. I'm not a boy anymore, he whispered. I know what you need. She finally gave in. Their lips met like lightning, the kiss deep, consuming. Megan melted against him, her fingers curling into his hair. The tension they'd both buried for years burst to the surface with raw, fiery urgency. But just before things could go further, Megan pulled away, panting. I need to think, she said, eyes wild with emotion. Jason didn't press. He stepped back, nodding. I'll wait. But just know, this wasn't a mistake. The next 2 days were filled with unspoken glances, accidental brushes of skin, and endless nights where Megan laid in bed, unable to stop reliving that kiss. Her mind was a storm of what-ifs and consequences. But deep down, she already knew. On the 4th night, Megan went to Jason's room. Her hands trembled as she opened the door. He was reading, lying back on his bed shirtless, as though he'd been expecting her. She stepped in, quietly closing the door behind her. I tried to ignore it. I tried to be good, to be what I thought I was supposed to be, she said, her voice low. But I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired of denying what I want. Jason sat up, his eyes never leaving hers. You don't have to explain. Just tell me what you want. I want to feel alive again, she whispered. He crossed the room in 2 strides, his mouth claiming hers again. This time she didn't stop. The night unfolded like a dream. Soft sighs, whispered names, trembling fingers learning every inch of each other's truths. It wasn't just lust. It was something deeper. Something that broke down every wall she'd built. When morning came, sunlight crept through the blinds, casting golden streaks across tangled sheets. Megan lay curled against Jason's chest, her mind calm for the first time in years. What now? She asked softly. Jason kissed her temple. We take it one day at a time. I don't want to hide, but I'll do whatever it takes to protect what we have. Megan nodded, heart full and quiet. For the first time, she didn't feel like a stranger in her own life. She felt seen, chosen, and deeply, utterly desired. It wasn't about being his stepmom anymore. That label had crumbled the moment their truths collided. Now it was about being 2 souls who found each other in the most unexpected place. She didn't need permission anymore. She had finally tasted what it meant to be wanted, for everything she was. And she wasn't letting that go.